can fade out until Mike says stop. We can fade out. Let's give me a note when this start. Nice.
Yeah, round of applause to the three musketeers. There's Kaye on my right, and then we have Ben, and of course Syafiq in the house here today. Hi everyone. How are you guys today doing? Okay, guys. Yeah, I see you be enjoying yourself. I'm jealous and down here looking at you all. You do all those nice things, and I like grooving. I can't.
Join us lah, Mike.
Yeah, I don't play those things. Okay, but anyway, hi. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to CD Music Live once again. And today we have Ben Ang in the house. Yeah, Ben, how are you, Ben, today?
Okay, good.
Good, yeah. And then we have, of course, Kaye, which known also as Kelvin, a good friend of mine.
Yep.
Kevin, how are you, man, brother?
Okay, good. Surviving.
And of course, Syafiq.
Hello.
How are you, Syafiq? Okay?
Good.
Good, all right. So we have three amazing so-called musicians in the house, and today's going to be special because they are the gurus of the Ableton Live. And of course, we have a lot more things to catch up with three of them. And before we do so, I would like to shout out our supports from or by the first, of course, none other than the Ableton, and then we have the Sony Singapore, which we have what we're using right now. It's the Sony ZV-1 camera as well as the A6400 cameras in the house, and of course the Black Magic design that we have here. We are toggling between the switches so that we are able to have multicams and all those nice visuals. That is, we are using the A10 Mini. We have 2 of them, and it's supported by the Black Magic design. And of course we have the Armchair lightings that we see behind, beautiful lightings at the back, and of course from the front, that's the Armchair Asia. We have of course Cork Singapore, Zoom Singapore, Mackie Singapore, Daiti microphones that you see over here. We have Daiti microphones, amazing microphones. Thank you, Chingfu, for the beautiful mics. Daiti S2 microphones. And not forgetting our team from City Music that's making all this possible. Thank you, guys. We have Jace, who's managing the sound as well. The visual is like wearing many hats. Octopusing, of course, with the additional help by Alvin. And, of course, the rest of the City Music guys. Thank you so much, guys. And, of course, today's a bit special, as I mentioned. We have, as you know, what they were doing was they were jamming. There is no rehearsal, it's just spot on, and basically it was just jamming, and it just go like, we just need to sound check actually, so we are doing that jamming spontaneously. So let's talk about the first thing. So we're going to do a little bit of talking before we go to the song. But just in case you want to hear something out there, so don't forget, just like our Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is very important. And of course, other than that, you just comment whatever you like, just enjoy your comment and just enjoy what we're doing right now, 1 p.m. today. Today is an awesome Wednesday, and that's on 23rd, today's what date? Today's the 7th, right? 7th of October. I almost forget. I do think it's September. Okay, my name is 7th October, 1 p.m. today. Okay, so the first question is basically, I would like to introduce yourself. Like to introduce yourself, each individual. Maybe you can start from Kaye or Kelvin. What you do actually.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kaye. I'm a musician, music producer, DJ. I also run an electronic music label called Darken and Wax. And we've been around for almost 10 years. Next year will be our 10th year anniversary. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Music. Okay. From day one.
What do you do in the early days?
In the early days?
Yeah. How long have you been in this industry?
I've been in
Without knowing, probably you don't.
I've been in this industry as long as I've been working.
Wow. And how long?
Which is close to 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never had a job lah. Never needed to send out my CV or resume ever before.
Right.
So
but that's to me quite interesting because usually you will get our papers and then we go to your facing 4 walls every day and just gonna go job like clicking our punch card and stuff like that, and then you're going to a different you went to a different direction.
Yeah,
totally. Just basically it's something that you love and you work with the things that you love. That's really awesome.
Do what you love what you do.
Yeah, exactly. So that's interesting. Yeah.
I was one of the lucky ones, I guess. Yeah.
Well, but I think it comes with hard work and strive and passion.
That too
passion.
as well, yeah.
Right.
And I guess when you're in this industry, when it's all about interacting with people, not just playing music, interacting with people, not just customers but clients as well, as long as you have conduct yourself in a professional manner, it will always get better because you will always get referrals from people. People will recommend you to do other events or come and play it here and there. Nice. So as long as you conduct yourself professionally, respect people, it resonates with people around you, they will remember,
Totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree. Okay, how about Ben? Ben, when you started and what makes you doing music?
Well, the main thing that I have is this working? It's live, right? Okay. Yeah. So it's no, I trust you guys. So I was listed as Cosmic Armchair because I am half of the Singapore synth pop band Cosmic Armchair, together with my wife Jane, who is the singer-songwriter, and I do most of the production. So we are signed to a Belgian record label, Alpha Matrix, and we've released album and number of EPs.
Beautiful.
And I also teach electronic music at the NUS Electronic Music Lab. Shout out to all the guys who are in the chat from the Electronic Music Lab. I see you.
You have to share with us.
I mean, as in, they're
Yeah.
watching us right now?
Yep.
How long already? Man?
Yeah. So I've been teaching at the NUS Electronic Music Lab, before you were born.
See, exactly.
Really? Before
Not you lah, him lah.
me, lah.
So in the quite a while, yeah. So it's a great thing, and I also teach electronic music with Pop Studio DJ School, and teaching mainly Ableton music production. Yeah.
And in those days, there were no Ableton. I'm sure, before you said Syafiq was born. So how do you teach back then? Like, there's no software and stuff like that, probably.
We actually started
got software lah.
We had Mac SE, the black and white Mac.
But the software is CB Lecce one.
We had the black and white Mac with the floppy disk.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that one not my time yet.
Floppy disk.
I know about floppy disk, but I never used floppy disk to make music.
Atari
Yeah.
1040 ST.
Sorry, wow.
Yeah.
Atari, man. Oh my god. Okay. that
Yeah,
is-
see, Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because in those days there was no sound in the computer. The computer is just driving synths. So every instrument track you wanted, you needed a separate synth for it. If you want a drums, you want your beat, you need a drum machine connected to your computer. Then you need another synth for the bass. Then you need another synth for the pads. Then you need another synth for the lead.
Wow.
Yeah, back then it was actually a lot more expensive to
Yeah.
make music.
Obviously.
Yeah, to do music production because you had to either invest in a lot of hardware, and when computers first came out, they were insanely expensive as well.
Yeah.
I truly understand where you guys coming from. In those days, like each synth, we sell synths, those days, like several $1,000.
Yeah,
for each
thousands
synth,
of
and you
dollars.
Plus, it costs you more like it's really expensive those days. But now everything is on software. We'll come back to that later, of software versus hardware later on. But meanwhile, let's Syafiq. Yeah, so
Hello.
we go to Syafiq right now. So Syafiq, let me share with the audience what you do basically.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Syafiq, the first Ableton certified trainer in Singapore. Also the founder of Grid Culture, basically an education place mainly focusing on Ableton Live. We does beat making, music production, live performance, and also I started doing sound designing actually for theatre work, like contemporary dance and theatre work using Ableton
Right,
real
that's
time.
nice.
And then now more on like producing experimental electronic music.
Wow. So that's something that you do for a living. You teach as well as and then you do music for it's more like a sound designing for productions. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's interesting. So it's totally different. You can see the different colors of music that you're doing. So Kaye is basically a musician himself. He's playing gigs and and enjoying his different kinds of groove and stuff like that live. In front of so many audience. While Ben generally, he plays in the band with his wife, and then he writes songs and stuff like that, and it's really awesome. And you were mentioning that the record label was what was the record label in
Alpha Matrix based in Belgium.
Belgium? Wow, that's congratulations, Ben, for the achievement. And and Syafiq, basically you were the first basically Ableton Live certified trainer.
Yep.
And we're going to go that is how probably they can share how basically they become the trainers themselves. Okay, so meanwhile, let's move to the next question. Okay, maybe Kaye, share a little bit of your journey in your music career when you started back then. The ups and downs and what makes you go into music rather than other things, like why?
Well, music has always been central to my life. When I was growing up, my brother was a big jazz fan, so there was always like music playing in the household, and when I was young I didn't understand it, but maybe subliminally there's kind of an influence, and then some things kind of just all fell together when I was like halfway through secondary school. I said I want to be a musician, and this is like when I was young, your parents put you through electone and all that kind of classes, right? I was hopeless. Teacher said I was tone deaf. 1 year of piano school, middle C, you still don't know where. So my parents thought, this one, forget it lah, cannot make it lah. And then at 14, I told my parents, I said I wanted to learn saxophone. Then they're like, sure or not? So okay lah, try lah. And I mean, that's it. I mean, that pretty much sealed the deal. So when I was in uni, I was already gigging in clubs and bars. So I was already kind of familiar with the nightlife scene, and I also had a session on movie soundtracks
Oh, that's nice.
with Stone Revivals. So one of my very earliest session recordings was for the Forever Fever soundtrack. So that's
Revival with Syed.
sorry,
Story Revival with
Syed,
Yeah.
Syed Munir and all that
Munir,
lah.
oh yeah.
So that was my first
Legend.
introduction to those bunch of clowns lah, you know. So and then from there I got to meet the Bushmen. So I also sessioned and played with the Bushmen, you know. And then from there it just kind of grew and grew and grew lah. So I was sessioning for a few different bands, and then started our own bands. We had a few different project bands here and there. So there was live music, and then there was also the DJ nightlife, the DJ clubbing side of stuff, which actually was more interesting for me. So I decided to blend the two and thought, why not, you know, introduce a concept of live improvisation over a DJ set at a bar. And I was arguably probably the first person to do it in Singapore. And to this day, I'm probably still one of the only ones doing it in Singapore. So I kind of like straddle both the live band scene and the clubbing scene, and then went into music production, and then went into setting up the label, you know. So things just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew lah. Yeah, in different ways. Yeah.
That's really nice. It's quite a journey actually.
Yeah. But like I said, along the way, I kind of met a lot of the right people, who introduced me to more of the right people. So it just like virus like that, like just grows and grows and grows and grows, like, you know. So your name travels further, your network gets bigger. You know, more people know about you. They want to book you for this. They want to get you on a studio recording. They want to get you to play on a whatever, you know. So I pretty much done most aspects of live performance related activities. Yeah.
Okay. Usually we will have. Do you have mentors or someone which basically guided you or helped you, you know, throughout this journey, and would you just basically purely like just by
Okay,
yourself
with like playing my instrument, I learned from a private instructor for about 2 years. So Sec 2, Sec 3, Sec 4. Then after that he left the country, and ever since then I was on my own. Never had instructor. So my instructors were all my jazz albums all the CDs that I bought lah. So I just put on the CD and then I just play along with it lah.
Nice.
Right or wrong, never mind. I just play any lah until you get it right lah. You know. So from there you build your vocabulary.
Yep.
So I'm pretty much as good as self-taught. I don't read music. I can't read music. That's for the musician side of things. DJing, I kind of picked it up on the job as well, because I was already playing at clubs, right, as a musician.
Right.
So I just pitched to my boss then. I said, you know, give me a weekday, a slow weekday night. Let me do a DJ, a theme night for a DJ style, for a DJ, for me to DJ. So from there, he like, okay lah, give you Wednesday lah, quiet day. So from there, I literally learned how to DJ on the job, you know. And then for music production, I have to give a shout out to my mentor, Jason Tan, whom you know very well as well.
Yeah, everyone knows him.
Yeah, so he's the OG, you know.
Yep.
So he was my biggest mentor, learning about music production and all the electronic stuff side of things. I would go to his house, sit behind him in his room, you know, while he's doing his work, then ask stupid question, you know. But that's how you learn, you know.
Yeah, that's how we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's
So
nice.
he was definitely a very big influence in my electronic music production journey. Yeah.
I think one I would say for you, Kaye, is you have talent. It's beautifully talented, because you know a lot of them actually basically go to a proper school to learn music and stuff. But you are the hard-not musician. I would say it's purely passion and a lot of talent in you. That's really something that everybody should know.
Hard work also.
Yeah, so it's not just okay, go to a music school and learn music. This basically you can hear from it. He has no basic, even like a music background, and suddenly just boom, and you do awesome music, and that's basically I would say good talent.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to Ben. Ben, so share your music journey, Ben. Like what makes you really go into music, despite that you were Were you teaching in the electronic music lab in NUS?
Electronic Music Lab is a very interesting story because I had been playing in synth cover bands before that in secondary school and in JC, right? And those days we just have like 3 guys and 3 synths and 1 singer and a drummer, kind of trying to do covers of synth songs. Then around the time we suddenly discovered that computers could actually do the music. Then you don't need to go and find 2 or 3 other musicians. You don't need to find a rehearsal studio somewhere. You can try and do it all by yourself. And then I got into NUS, and one of my seniors, whom I had been jamming with, said, "Hey, join the electronic music lab." And I said, "Wow, this is really cool stuff." We actually had a studio. We still have a studio. I basically joined, and then I never left. So after what we did was that if you get senior, you help to teach the juniors. Then I graduated. I kept on coming back as alumni, and then after a while, as people retired, then they said, "Would you like to be a tutor?" Then they made me a tutor. Then after the head tutor retired, then they said, "Would you like to be the principal tutor?" I said, "Okay, then that's it.
Wow,
let's keep on going."
That's an awesome journey, Ben.
And I also met Jane there. So
Oh, you met your wife there.
yeah.
Nice.
Okay, now I know.
Now you know.
Would like to share a little bit of that.
And so I heard her singing in the recording studio. I said, I must get to know this woman. So I brought her. I asked her, "Hey, are you free to go to the Korg M1 launch at City Music?"
M1
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. M1. Okay.
Okay, so yeah. But because of that, we created a lot of music together also, and that's how we developed Cosmic Armchair to release the songs that we wrote together. She does most of the writing, really, because she has the real talent in songwriting and singing, and I do the production end of it.
Yeah, you guys should listen to their stuff, the Cosmic Armchair, because the songs are beautiful. I love a few of the songs that
Thanks, man.
We had this event several years back in City Music where we have Cosmic Armchair in the house, and then they're sharing their songs with us, and that was awesome. And that was the first time I heard your stuff and your music, and that was like, wow, it's really purely different from many of the songs that I've heard, and it makes I truly believe it makes Cosmic Armchair and their own identity.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. And there was a great video that you all shot also. So shout out, go and see the YouTube City Music Up Close and Personal Cosmic Armchair. Go and check it out.
Yes, you must check it out. Okay, guys.
Special series.
Okay, how about Syafiq? Yeah, I mean, you're not as young as me, but but
I'm
anyway,
this year, man.
trying to be young. But anyway, Syafiq, it's unlike them. I have to be honest, they have been through so many years of the journey, and you started out like what makes you like go into Ableton and okay, we don't talk about Ableton first. Okay, we will keep this until after this, but I mean sharing your music journey,
So
how you
let's
started.
Backtrack a few years ago. So I started into performing arts in the CCA ever since 13 years old.
13
So
years old, okay.
led by one of my mentor, Yazis Hassan.
Okay.
So I'm exposed to percussion, so mainly like world percussion.
Right.
So I feel like, my sense of rhythm is really good. And then at the age of 16, I actually already know what to do. I tell myself that I just want to focus being in music and creative industry. So, and then I wanted to be percussionist, to be honest.
Right.
Just like my another mentor, shout out to him. He deserves this, Wan Abang, Ridwan Zalani.
my ex band member.
Oh,
Of course, So yeah, so very funny actually. Actually, it's my first time meeting Kaye after like 10 years, because I've been always seeing you jamming at Blue Jazz so many times.
Oh,
You see?
see?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now is the
okay.
first time
Yeah.
after 10 years,
Stalking
man.
you. This guy,
Exactly,
wow.
exactly.
Really,
Yeah.
really, wow. Okay.
The typical Blue Jazz at the window when
Yes,
it's full house.
yes.
And then I wanted to be a percussionist, and then to focus on performing arts. But eventually, I found a software called Ableton Live that changed my life 180. Because I realized that I can explore and express myself even better.
Okay.
One man show, I can do anything, doing things that I can't play live, manipulate effects, put rhythms and melody. But also, because I learned in RP, sound synthesis, one of my module.
Oh, okay. So you were from RP.
Yeah, I was from RP,
Okay.
Sony Arts. They introduced Ableton Live, but I hated that software back then.
Okay.
The layout is
Yeah.
very
Okay.
complicated. It's not
Yeah.
friendly back then.
I see.
And,
Wait, what? Ableton back then? Or what?
Live. I mean, when I was using Live 8, Ableton Live 8.
Ableton Live 8.
I don't like the layout.
Really?
I mean, it's the same, almost the same, but I just don't understand back then how.
Okay.
How
okay.
how
Just
it
like
works.
me, you know, it's like I don't understand back then, but
No,
till
still you
today.
don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
then
maybe he
I.
needs a trainer.
Yeah, there's so many trainers here. man. There's
Yeah,
no
so
reason.
I train. Yeah, okay.
We're gonna convert you soon.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, hoping.
So it started from there, performing arts, and then RP, and then realizing that the software can do many more, like triggering real-time cues for theatre work, contemporary dance, in production, and then that's it. And then I realized that I want to do this for the rest of my life. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's quite a jump.
Yeah,
quite a move.
that's true. That's true.
Okay. Then we're going to go now to the why you guys use Ableton Live. All right. So that's the very tricky question because I mean we have a lot of other softwares in the market. I'm using Logic for example, and I live with that with the Pro Tools, with very strong at the audio, and then we go to Logic, we have the soft synth and stuff. That's basically, I'm so comfortable with that. But why you guys actually, so used or so comfortable with the Ableton? Kaye, maybe you can share.
I actually started out on Propellerhead's Reason. So I was using Reason for quite a long time. And then I switched to Ableton. I also didn't like the...
Just hold on a minute. So I'm sure Jason actually is the one who introduced you to Reason.
Jason, yeah.
Yeah, because it's the same for me.
Yeah,
He's the one who introduced Reason and all this.
Oh no, I didn't start with Reason. I started out with Digital Performer.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's even I
Motu.
mean, that's the
Motu,
basic.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, went into Reason. And then from Reason, I switched to Ableton Live because... and I agree with Syafiq, I hated the interface. I thought it looked like Fisher-Price toy like that, no? So I switched to Ableton Live because of one very simple reason. Because I needed to do live performance. And at that time, and arguably even now, no software can match Ableton when it comes to live performance.
I see.
Yep.
So when it comes to like triggering clips live, even the concept of triggering clips, because a lot of DAWS, digital audio workstations back then, is in a very linear format.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So it's from 000 to 5 minutes, and then you do your arrangement, So it's very linear. But with Ableton, when you have this thing called a session view, it's not linear. And you have blocks called clips, which you can put musical information into, and then you can just mix and match whatever lah. So you can jump all over the place, and no other software could do that. So that was the greatest thing about Ableton Live for me back then lah, when I wanted to switch over to doing live performance lah. Everything is at my fingertip. Whatever that I want to do is at my fingertip. Whether it's launching musical information, or tweaking stuff with like effects, delay, reverb kind of stuff, Live, Ableton Live, that's the whole, that's the whole philosophy of it. Yeah, exactly. So that was the main reason. Yeah.
And when was that? When you started using Ableton Live? When? Like how many years ago?
Wow. 07, 08.
2007.
Around there, maybe.
Okay. Wow.
Live
That was
7.
live. Yeah.
Live 6, 7.
6 or 7.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah,
It's a long journey, man.
long time. Yeah.
Wow.
I still don't claim to understand Ableton inside out 100%. I just understand what I need to do with it,
Use it for-
because it's like it's very hard to understand something like a software like Ableton 100%, because that's for the engineer to know. We are music makers. We don't need to know this thing 100%. We need to know what we want to do out of it. What we want it to do.
Agree.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Okay. And even until today, you don't use any other software but Ableton?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. No other software.
Awesome.
What other software
As I mean, don't count DJ software lah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen other
Yeah,
side of-
music
yeah.
production software, no. All my VSTs, I mean, it's compatible with multiple DAWs, but my main DAW is Ableton lah.
Do you face any issues like suddenly the computer hang or you just simply crash while you're using that live?
I'm one of the very lucky ones. I've never had my computer I've never had the software go crazy on me while I'm performing live.
Oh.
Maybe only once during it was I think it was a F1 season performance. We were on stage and it was incredibly hot. I think my computer had a bit of a meltdown. So I mean that was the only time that it screwed up. Other than that, very stable. All the laptops that I've used over the years, whether they are like not even like a MacBook Pro, just a normal MacBook, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, the important thing is you don't push the CPU too hard, lah. You know, so you work within your limitations, lah.
Right.
Yeah, you don't work at something 80%, lah. That's like really towing the line, lah. You know.
I see.
If you keep it around like 50 or below, you're cool.
safe, huh?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. So it's just managing your resources. You know, you don't need to have the best equipment. You don't need to have the best laptop. You just need to work with what you have and do the best with it.
Maximize
Yeah.
Right. I totally agree. Ben, how about you, Ben? Like how you started, like how it started to actually, go and dive into Ableton.
I totally
live.
agree with Kaye because it was when I was asked to do a live gig with the other tutors at the NUS Center for the Arts, right?
Right.
The guy from the guitar ensemble, and they called me to represent the electronic music lab.
Right.
Then I said, okay, I need to use something live. And at that time, I had a trial version of Ableton Live 4. So I loaded it up for the gig, right?
Older.
So while they were jamming
Yeah.
on guitar and jamming on bass, right?
Yeah.
Then I just was thinking, okay, just load up. On the spot, just load up. I got the loop here. Okay, I tried this loop here. I tried the bass loop here. I tried playing live. And then I had connected it to a Oxygen 8.
Whoa,
Those keyboards
okay.
with the knobs. So I was like changing effects as we were going around, changing filters. So it was really fun. And then I discovered that besides having this view where you can play live and you can trigger the loops, you can actually press tab and it goes into the horizontal view where people actually do the arrangement.
Yeah, the
full
conventional
arrangement.
arrangements.
Yeah, the
music,
conventional
yeah.
one which you see in Logic, GarageBand,
Yeah.
Pro Tools. So it could actually serve both purposes. And it was very stable in handling the software synthesizers and everything in the box. So
Right.
after a while, you realize that, hey, you can actually create everything in Ableton Live and then bring it onto stage as well, which was a real advantage to me. Yeah. After having used other things through the years like Cakewalk and...
Yeah, those days were
Yeah.
Cakewalk. Yeah, I remember those.
Because I'm a Windows user.
Uh-huh.
So on Windows, it's very flexible. I can create something in Ableton Live Windows,
Right.
and I can pass it over to Syafiq on Mac. I can take a file from Kaye in Mac, and then I can play it back in Windows.
Nice. Yeah, talking about this, for those who wants to know, generally the first song that basically they were jamming along, they were synchronizing the tempo. So how they work together is, maybe Ben, you can share with them how basically you guys actually connected, or get connected with the 3 different computers together and make it possible to play all synchronizing. or
What we
synchronized.
have is a technology called Ableton Link, and Ableton Link works at Wi-Fi. So right now, if we all click on Link,
Okay.
and I see 2 laptops are now linked to me.
Right.
If
You wanna
I
show the
ch-
display for Ben, maybe.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no, even case display, right? I'm now gonna change the tempo.
Uh-huh.
As I change the tempo on mine, you see the tempo is like, oh, cannot, tempo is hidden by the top left corner. But basically now all his loops are synchronized with my loops,
Uh-huh.
so that you play a loop.
Yeah.
So now that's looping. If I change the tempo, his also changes. Speed it up. And Syafiq's echoes are synchronized.
Yes, I can try it now.
Oh.
So I have some delays here.
So it's not just the tempo, even the effects are also synchronized in terms of the tempo as well. Yeah, you hear that? Nice.
It's hassle-free, man.
Wow. Awesome. I like that. Yeah.
So that way you can have 3 laptop musicians.
There's a very long delay that
Yeah.
coming from
Not me.
Wow.
that.
You.
Okay.
Is it you?
So there's no need for physical cables to link up the computers. I mean, in the
past.
earlier days,
Yeah,
you
of
could
course.
link up computers lah, but physically lah, you know.
Yeah.
So with this technology, we're all connected via Wi-Fi. So there's no physical physical connection between all
Any
of our
of the
laptops.
computers. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And basically, you're running on PC versus Mac, and it's all, you know, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. So that's awesome. Okay, Ben. One more question. Like, you know, just like I asked Kate just now. Like, do you have a mentor or the people that probably, you know, you look up to, and then that's what inspired you to, you know, be where you are right now in terms of music?
We were all inspired by all the great electronic artists, international electronic artists that we used to follow, you know, through the years. And in Singapore, we're very glad that there's people who are very active in the scene back in the 90s, like Leonard Tan, Jeffrey Lowe, then of course Jason and the work that he's done, Case Wu. So these guys really laid a lot of groundwork for the electronic music scene in Singapore. Very grateful to them.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for sharing, Ben. Okay. How about Syafiq? Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, how do you dive into just you were mentioning a little bit about, you know, how you started off with at the Republic Poly, and that's how you actually diversify yourself, not just by, you know, going through the conventional or the music course that you were doing, and then after that you just diversify yourself to doing Ableton Live.
Yep.
Yeah. So and I understand that you were the first basically trainer for Ableton. How do you do that? And maybe, you know, you can share with the audience. You know, probably, you know, you want to get people to be inspired by. Oh yeah, I also want to be a trainer. Would that be possible for them or any one of us?
Yeah, it's really
You think
possible. It's really possible. First, I want to share that you can read all the requirements in Ableton website. Just go all the way down, be a certified trainer. Of course, certain things it's NDA I can share during that certification program. How it all started, it's all because of curiosity and want to pushing myself. That's the only two intention. Because I studied in RP, I got to know that there's a lot of Avid Pro Tools certified trainer, and also Apple certified trainer. And then I'm so obsessed with the software in RP, and then I decided to go to Ableton.com because I want to purchase the software, right? And then I realized when I scroll all the way down, without realizing, I saw that find certified trainer. I'm like, oh, there's a trainer in Singapore. Maybe I can learn from them, you know, because I'm so obsessed with the software. Unfortunately, there's no one in Singapore.
Right.
Then I'm like, whoa, why? Immediately, like, I'm still in school, I remember. Like, this is amazing. Like, there's no Singapore certified trainer in Singapore. The closest one is in Malaysia. Ruben, only one. Yeah. Then I'm like, this is interesting. And then I totally forgot about that until few years, 2016 or 2015. I keep on coming to Ableton and see what are the requirements or the skills that they need or they're asking for.
Yeah.
And then I start to realize that it's damn tedious. It's rigorous, it's tough.
Oh.
Alumni.
My lecturer in Sony Arts, I asked him, hey Sam, why is it so, there's no one in Singapore? Then he replied, I have no idea, maybe it's difficult. Even the RP Faci tried actually reading up. They said it's difficult. Then I'm like, okay, the only solution I can do is let me face the difficulties myself. Like, why is it so difficult? And I don't put any intention, I just want to test it out. And actually, Ableton did not open the application every year. They open up quite by region, like Southeast Asia, Europe, India.
Right.
So 2016 I applied. Before 2016 it was the 2013. So the gap is like really long. So I think they want to find a Southeast Asia trainer. Just nice, I applied. Cut story short, the certification is very hard. I want to give up. I really want to give up. I got anxiety at the last stage in Hong Kong. I have to flew to Hong Kong. I got anxiety. I want to vomit out. I want to just tell them like, hey, I want to
Quit.
really, really, because I'm the youngest there,
Wow.
and I met very talented producers and Ableton Live user, and I said that I don't match any
Of these people.
of these people. But however, I learned something. They saw a different strength of me in that certification, which is being a sound designer.
Right.
For theatre work, like for all the work that I'm doing, like using Ableton in different perspective. Don't have any knowledge of playing. I can't play guitar. I can't play keyboard. I can't sing. Tone deaf, really. I'm just good in rhythmic aspect and percussion and beats. But then I start to realize that, hey, they look at the strength of me, so I made it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned that you have to go to Hong Kong. You mentioned that you went to Hong Kong to actually complete the course.
Yep.
So it's not online kind of course.
So there's
Also-
three different
Right.
stages.
Right.
The first stages is application. Yeah, I mean you can read all these things in the website, but other than that, yeah, the last one is in Hong Kong. I can't share much again, but the whole thing just got me a very bad anxiety attack,
Oh dear.
and yeah, I have no appetite to eat for the whole trip in Hong Kong because
How long was the period?
2 days
2 days.
for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean in Hong Kong is for me is 2 days lah.
Throughout the course, right, Ben and Syafiq, how long is the course actually? The
No, no.
Ableton Live.
It's not a course. It's a
that's what
certifying
correcting,
Yeah,
certification
it's not a course,
exam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
what do
you
you
actually have to train yourself. You have to train yourself. Then you will be tested. It's the exam. It's
Right.
basically a long exam. It's basically the toughest exam I have ever taken
Yeah.
in my life.
I wanted to highlight this. Okay, so when I got
Wow.
certified, right?
I respect this man a lot because after years
my
of,
goodness.
of playing and years of teaching at the electronic music lab,
Right.
I still was stressed by this exam, which is, like I said again, the toughest exam I had in my life. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, Ben is right. So I did not start as an electronic artist first. You see, like I just wanna be a sound designer to produce work, electronic sound for theatre work, and then Ben came in, and then eventually I met other electronic artists like Koflo.
Oh.
Keep in touch with me, contact me to do a Ableton workshop. And then I keep telling them it's hard. But being a certified trainer in Singapore alone at that moment, it's hard to convince them it's hard. You get what I mean? They thought I'm talking, I'm not just over exaggerating everything. But thank God to Ben, when he got the second certified trainer, he put on his Facebook status, he said that this is even tougher than his law examination. Am I right?
Oh, goodness, you put
And I'm
that-
like, yes,
you put
Ben,
that
say it,
statement,
man.
wow,
Like, yeah, that's a
bless
very good statement, and it's true. It's very hard for me to express myself that it's really tough until Ben find the best way to put it onto the social media. I'm like, wow, I'm not alone.
Yeah, it's tougher than law school.
Okay, let's talk about tougher than any of the you went through that. But what kind of obstacles are you going through? Or you went through?
I think we can't share much about this lah, but it's because we signed an NDA with Ableton. Certain things we can't share
All right.
publicly.
And I see some of our other Ableton certified trainers on the chat also calling in from US.
Yeah,
So I say shout out to
several
them.
in the house.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they also know the
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
of.
Answers and
think the
everything,
obstacle-
yeah, they know.
it's-
Yeah, sure.
You better know what you're doing. I just say in every possible way you could use, and you can see the 3 ways that we are using
Yeah.
just in this
Yeah,
jam.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
3 of
yeah.
us. 3 totally different ways,
Exactly.
and this is not the end. There's
There's a lot more.
I think my advice will be, not advice lah, my takeaway will be yourself and focus on your strengths. That's
Focus on your
it.
strength. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn everything and focus on your strength.
Well, that's nice to say to the audience, and it will inspire a lot of people. Yeah, I know. Okay, of course, I want to be a certified trainer, but you have to be well prepared. I believe looking at what you have explained is very well prepared. I mean, it's just not physically but mentally prepared, and you must be able to handle a lot of stress. I would say, with certain reason.
The great thing is that you don't have to be an Ableton certified trainer to use Ableton to make music. Because in the end of the day, what we're going to do is make music.
Yeah.
Make music.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And look at his setup. He's got like really sophisticated
Yeah.
link up of how he's playing like layered multiple instruments. He's got a wind instrument there. You don't need to be a certified trainer to do that. Yeah. You need to be certified trainer to teach, because I teach at the Pop Studio DJ School and I teach at NUS. But
True.
to make music,
Yeah, because for me, my journey learning, I never went to a school. Seems like everything I do in my career never go school one. Never go music school, never go this school, never go DJ school, never go. So I never went to any school. But I always had a question. I need to do this with the software. How do I do it? Who's your best teacher? Google and YouTube.
Nice.
Just do a search. Watch videos, learn, try for yourself.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just keep doing it lah. That was how I learned.
Wow.
Yeah, just doing searches, reading articles, watching videos, tutorials, and then you gain your knowledge from there, and then you apply it to yourself. But you need to have questions in your head lah. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to do?
Of course.
Because if you don't have questions, you won't know what to ask.
Right.
then for those who need a coach for more personal training, then come to a trainer. Because just like you can run on your own, but sometimes if you run with a buddy to coach, or you can go to the gym on your own. But if you go to a coach with a personal trainer, you can get different kind of results. So some people can do it on their own. Some people want a coach.
Totally agree. Okay, but before we move to the next question, we'd just like to see who are in the house right now. Let's start with we've been. Oh yeah, let's go down to the people that saying hi to us.
Phil from Australia.
After 50 minutes, hello guys.
Okay. We have our part-time Lokis in the house, Philip Tan, and then we have Claire, Mary Lim,
New York.
Micha King, Nazrul, Azam, Logindran, and we have also Tang Ireng, Ben C,
NUSEML.
hi, Yong Feng Ng in the house, and also Ying Long is in the house too. He's at home resting. Dennis in the house. Christine Cham is in the house too. He say hi, Kaye. Yo. Okay, we have Kevin Ang and saying hi to Ben Ang. Okay.
Kevin.
We have Amanda Ling also in the house as well, saying Kaye, Ben and Syafiq hi. Hello.
Hi, Amanda.
And then we have Paul Lee in the house too. And then you have Yvette.
Yeah, that's my mentor, Yazis. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Who else? Don Ho is in the house too. He say hi to Kaye. Yeah. 3P Elliot. And then we have who else? Mandalay Rafi Maksudi in the house. Chris O. He say hi, Mike. Yeah. Chris O is from JB. Yeah, he's always supporting us. Thanks to Chris for your amazing support to City Music. And Sunshine Abba. And yeah, he's in the house too. Okay, we just say that CK Music's also our sister company in KL is also watching us. Who else? Alvin Aloysius Go is watching us. Hi to I can't read this. Mcleod, MCLEAD. I hope I spell it. I pronounce it correctly. And Gigi Geoffrey in the house. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of people. Darren Stang. Yeah, CK Music. Yeah, I did say that. Norio is in the house too. Fazri, Azri. Wow, we have a long list. Apparently, Kamal, is watching from home. Yeah, he says stay home. Till next week. So basically, hopefully he's fully recovered soon. Horace Wee. Oh my goodness, Horace Wee is another legend, and he's watching us right now. He's a very old. Our very old friend, and then he's been in this industry for more than, I would say, a good 50 years.
Wow.
And he still is one of the a person that I look up to, and he's a very good sound engineer. He's a musician himself, and amazing guy. He's in the house too. Ravi Kupusami is in the house, and Michael Angelo. Wow, Michael Angelo is in the house, and then Nisa Tan, Muhammad Hambuli. Phil Farrelly
From Australia. Hi,
wow,
Phil.
we have a lot all over the world, man. Okay, thank you so much, Julie Hansen.
Jules Jensen.
Jules Jensen.
Who's an awesome
Clarence
MIDI drummer.
You know him? Or you know her?
Yeah, we know
Our
him.
friends.
Oh, yeah,
Through
okay.
the Ableton circles.
Hello,
And then-
Jules.
wow.
Hey, Jules. In Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
What's the time now, by the way, in Boston?
Minus
Jules, what?
12, I think.
Jules is nearly 2 a.m., right, Jules?
2 a.m. and still watching us. Well, thank you so much for your support and watching us. And then we have Muhammad Hamim, and Umi Shukod, and Belinda Chong, Russell Koh, and Harry Chan. Wow, there's so many in the list. Alfian Slamat, Lee Eddy, Nora Ajwaz, Sharil. Yeah, there's a lot more. Okay, I mean, yeah, you see, Vijay said, stop it. Okay, but okay, I'm so sorry. I wish I could read all of them. You know, it's like, thank you so much for the support and watching us through this Ableton Live interview. So let's move on to the next question. Yeah, so I'm so sorry for those who actually didn't mention their names, and probably later on, okay? All right, so what do you think about the EDM music in Singapore in general? From the very beginning until now, what do you think? Is there in the industry, or what do you think as a whole?
The music?
The music? Yep.
Well, the mainstream EDM, I can't say I love or even like. I think things always go in cycles, so there will be shifts in genres, like how dubstep was very popular a while back, and then it fell off, and then something came to take its place, so, and when new things take over, they usually look back at previous genres and they see how they can manipulate a genre in a new way, or mash up two different genres to create something new, that kind of thing. So I think for electronic music, it's always going to go into that cycle. So there will be times when stuff that I like, like a more deep housey, soulful kind of sound will be more popular. Some of it is actually happening, like if you look at Dua Lipa's release this year, and there was a remix album, and the remixers are all underground electronic music producers remixing Dua Lipa. I'm like, what the hell's going on, So there's all these weird collaborations going on sometimes, so, and then that creeps into the mainstream, so, and then suddenly some things may latch on, and it blows up, and then it becomes the next big thing that everybody wants to copy, and it will just continue go in cycles lah. Yeah.
So you think it's a good thing to happen this way, or you should just retain like the conventional, house means house, and
it will always evolve. It will always evolve. It has always evolved, and it will always continue to evolve. I mean, that's the nature of I think music in general. I mean, unless you are talking about very strict genres like bluegrass or opera, or what, then maybe a bit hard to evolve lah. But most genres, jazz will always evolve. Pop will always evolve. Even rock will always evolve. Once upon a time, rock never had a synthesizer, and then now rock bands have synthesizers, and it's not a weird thing, So these things always evolve.
Right. Talking about evolve, how about you think okay, that's global, that's international. How about in Singapore generally? Like, do you think there is so-called community about EDM music, and what do you think about them?
I'm not really sure of a community, or very vibrant community at least. There are a couple of people I know who produce music, and they're all in their own circles and all that, but that's not really a vibrant community of like people who meet up together to like discuss, or like jam sessions or meetings or whatever. There's not really a vibrant singular community in Singapore, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because it's a very cliquey thing, or maybe because it's very genre specific. The hip hop guys won't hang out with the house guys, What
do you think, Ben? What do you think?
I agree that there isn't a physical community. I think there is more of a virtual community. The NUS group the Electronic Music Lab, batch by batch, has lots of students coming in, and they're all interested in different forms of electronic music. And as Kaye said, it evolves. Like, now country music has trap beats, right? So yeah, why not? And every batch that comes in, they're liking something different. One batch loved the Martin Garrix, the Hardwell kind of sound. Then the next batch came in all Alan Walker, Illenium. Then the next batch, then I learned new things. I learned suddenly there's Nightcore, there's glitch hop, there's different genres. Some of the folks here in the chat, like Tan Yirung, has a great synthwave EP out.
Yeah, yes.
So
totally agree.
There's all kinds of different kinds of music, and people are meeting not necessarily in person, sometimes in groups like the Electronic Music Lab, but sometimes in Discord servers, sometimes in chats, sometimes in other online groups. So it's not the kind of usual community that we are used to in the physical sense. But I think there are a lot of creators who are creating new music from Singapore, and we actually have artists who are charting in the EDM world, right, as well.
I see. How about Syafiq? You know, you represent the younger generation, right? Unlike, you know, they are more matured generation. You know, they've been through a lot in terms of, like, you know, honestly, you know, in terms of their music career and where they started to today. But yourself, you know, you're more fitted to the younger crowd, the younger generation. What will you see in terms of the whole entire EDM in your aspect?
To be really honest, I'm still learning about EDM because I don't come from the electronic EDM side. My perspective is more of experimenting sound itself. So I'm actually listening to them. I'm learning from them. So even now, after 10 years, like I said, now that I meet Kaye, you see, it's a different. I started with a different industry, you know, like different background. I mean,
And totally different application also.
Yeah.
Right, because it's sound design based.
Right.
yeah. For example, like I'm more into sampling.
Okay.
Like how do I use creative found object, household objects, ambience, and put into music. More of that kind of style. But if you
I
ask me
see.
EDM specifically, I don't think I can answer
Okay.
where they're going. But because I'm teaching also, surprisingly I don't have like band in terms of like a specific number of age coming to the school, right? Mine is from like 18 to like 55 years old. So I don't really get to learn from them also. Some still wanna write music, folk music in Ableton. Some wanna write
Oh.
pop music, but a bit of electronic in Ableton. Some come to learn Ableton because of Launchpad. So EDM is never part of the reason why I wanna start electronic music.
Right.
It's more like the creative side of the software first, then the music come about. So sorry if I can't answer.
No worries,
on
no worries.
behalf.
Because in general, what I would think about EDM is basically electronic music. You see,
Electronic dance.
dance music. So generally, dance means a lot of genres. So that
Yeah.
reflect to, like, you know, it can be house, can be techno, can be many more. So it's quite vast in terms of their genre, in terms of even dance music itself. So, you know. But while I'm talking to you guys, I'm like looking at what you have on the table. You know, it's like, okay, so Syafiq has a different setup, and then you have like Ben with his own setup, and Kaye with like different setup. So I'm just gonna go dive into like what you have right now, Kaye. So maybe you can tell the audience like
Okay,
your setup.
I decided to come with a very stripped down setup
Right.
because back when I used to do like a live sets, I would bring like my bag like Ninja Turtle there, you know. Got sound card, got laptop, got hardware, synthesizer, got hardware, drum machine, then
Oh.
got MIDI controller, all. And like, you know what? Today, path of least resistance. You know, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. So all I have is 2 Korg controllers, which you can buy from CD
Right.
Music, and I'm cheap, very reliable. It can do a lot of things. And I have a launch pad. So the launch pad is basically mainly for me to launch clips. So I have a bunch of clips here. Actually, no, it's okay. I have a bunch of clips,
Yeah,
and the
that-
clips
yeah.
basically is.
Thanks, Jace. Nice.
So what I have, all these white boxes you see are just are called clips. So they hold information. They could be like drum pattern, bass line, MIDI note, whatever lah. But for me, because I'm doing it live, all my clips are blank.
Wow.
So what I
Okay.
can do is I will launch a clip, and it's blank, right? So I'll play. For example, let's do a.
Okay, wait. What is that actually you're holding? Maybe you can tell the
Okay,
audience
this
as
is
well.
this is called an EV, which is basically electronic sax lah.
Okay.
For lack of a better word, it stands for electronic wind instrument,
Yeah.
electric wind instrument.
Okay.
And this product is actually damn old. This is my third one.
Third one?
In my entire career, I've gone through 4 already.
And how much is one of those?
This is about $1,000 a piece.
Wow.
And why I've gone through 3 or 4 is because it relies on your finger input, and because sweaty, salt and all
Right.
that, so it can corrode some of the components.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a big shame. And shout out to Archive please listen to actual musicians who play this and don't come up with toys, because all the new products, cannot make it.
Right.
Really cannot make it. Even Roland, they tried to come up with a version of the electric
yeah,
sax.
okay. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, but real musicians they need input from real musicians.
Right.
Okay, rant aside. So what I'm doing is, okay, what am I?
Okay.
So I can arm different instruments. No sound. Oh, no sound because not on.
Oh, nice.
So I have this instrument, so I can toggle between chords. Between singular notes and chords.
Woo!
Okay,
Nice.
so that's one, and then with this same track, this channel, I can cycle between instruments. So I've got say like 5 instruments in my sound bank. Okay, so I'm playing live, right? So I can cycle through playing it live. And then that's one. And then second one is my bass. So I have a bass synthesizer as well.
Wow, that's cool.
All right. So this one I can also cycle between different patches, but I've done it in a different way. So I have clips here. So the clips, like I say, they contain information, right? But then my information is all blank. So what am I using these clips for? For me to record my playing later when we jam live, but it's also for me to switch between patches. So for example, I have a patch which is called, right, so I have this patch. So I can cycle between different sounds according to whether the music requires it lah.
Right. So you can toggle the sounds instantly.
Yes, I can trigger the sounds instantly, and then I also have, a couple other small things that I can mess around with, So this is a pad, the pad control, the pad.
Yes, that's a Nano Control
This
Studio.
is the Nano Key Studio.
Nano Key Studio.
Yeah, so I can use the notes to play.
Yeah,
I can use the pads to play as well.
Yeah.
Cycle between the sounds.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So I have one for like electronic drum sounds, and then another one for more traditional acoustic percussion.
Alright.
And
What do you have at the bottom there?
That's it.
The faders.
This?
Yeah.
The faders are for me to control the levels of each instrument.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So that's a Nano Control
this is a Nano Control
2.
tool, yeah. And then I use this at home in my studio. I use this as my main transport control as well. So your stop, play, record, fast forward, rewind, so everything is from here lah.
Nice.
And and also a nifty thing about there's something that you can do which is called MIDI remote scripts. So I have it such that for a Nano Control 2, I just wrote a very simple script. So if you look at the laptop, right? Okay, so if you see, because usually in a traditional sense, you have your MIDI controller, then one knob will map to one thing, and then one fader will map to one thing. But then that is static. That knob will always be locked to that one thing. So with a little MIDI remote script happening, what I can do is, okay, so this is my bass synth, right? Which is the Monarch. So you can see instrument rack. And you see this little blue hand here? So this little blue hand here means the script is active. So I can one knob here, one knob here, one knob here, one knob here, and so on, right? So I have 7 knobs dedicated to this. But if I go to a different instrument and say, this is a different channel, different instrument, and then click on this so the blue hand appears, I can do the same thing. So these 8 knobs are not locked to just one instrument. As long as there's a blue hand there, it controls all the parameters that you can mess with lah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, cheap equipment, but if you just learn to work your way around it, you can use it to do a lot more things than it, you know.
Is that the main setup that you have, or generally, you know, or is that the setup you have all basically when you do your gigs, or is there
No,
anything
I
else?
created this setup especially for today.
Wow.
Yeah. So at home,
Okay.
my setup is very leceh because I got hardware synths and all
Hardware,
also lah.
yeah.
So then
And
like,
what other synths you use basically? Maybe you're going to share with the audience.
what other synths that I
Yeah,
use?
I mean, what other gears other than these you have?
If it's MIDI controllers, actually these are all the MIDI controllers I have.
Right, the rest
and-
are hardwares.
Wow.
Yeah, the rest is all hardware. So I have sequencers, drum machines, synthesizers, mono and poly,
Right.
some rack mount stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also have a reamp rig that I did. So to send signal out from my computer and go into guitar effects and then send back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but then all very leceh lah. So,
Yeah.
so we'll go more into that when we talk about analog and digital.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Okay, Ben, how about you? You know, maybe you can share the audience what's your setup like right now?
Well, we start from here. This is analog. This is a Korg Minilog, and this is a lovely synth, which also you guys have this as well.
Yeah.
And I like it because, you know, all the knobs, as in a good analog synth, mean all the parameters are there straight away. I can change the filter.
Nice.
And that's just one parameter, right? So
Nice.
straight away, I have 100 patches here, and I have 100 spaces where I put my own custom patches, which is what I'm working with now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
then, yeah.
the arpeggiator, there's a built-in arpeggiator that synchronizes with my Ableton Live. So
Oh, cool.
and that's actually synchronized with Ableton Live because I have it connected by USB.
USB and synchronize it. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
And
And by the way, that's basically Ben's collection. It's not from City Music, so he bought it, and then that's his own.
autographed by Sakamaki-san, the man
Oh,
who
yeah.
designed this
Yeah.
very
Sweet.
nice
Whoa.
ski
Awesome
ramp
keyboard.
here. Yes, because I got to meet him in Tokyo thanks to some friends. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Genius guy.
Yeah, genius guy. Thanks
Yeah.
to the collective Cobalt Bomb Alpha Omega in Tokyo, they introduced me to him. I was very grateful.
Nice.
And this, of course, Ableton Push, where just like Kaye, I have clips laid out, but unlike him, mine are full. So mine have stuff in them,
Do it. Yeah.
whether it's people saying things or whether it's sounds.
Where are
or-
these sounds? Sorry, where these sounds come from? Is
so
it
I've
internal?
loaded samples into the clips in my Ableton Live set.
Right.
And
These are all your own samples, or is it the Ableton samples?
tons of stuff from everywhere. There are,
Wow,
literally, I've got like gigabytes and gigabytes of samples. If you start collecting samples and going online and just going to get free samples, right, from sample companies that are offering, here's a free 2 gigabytes before you decide whether to buy anything.
Yeah,
You just,
download
like, you
them and try
can
it
spend the next like 3 years just finding sounds. But the other interesting thing you want to do is not just take the sound, but take one sound and then you do something with it. For example, I took a cowbell and I made it repeat. So you can have different things that you can do because you can actually manipulate the samples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And thanks to having this, and I can also run off my instruments from here. So I'll show you this instrument here. Now I've gone into instrument mode, which is another mode on the Ableton Push. And when I'm in this mode, all the knobs actually correspond to different parameters in the synth.
Right.
It's
so
actually
like
a
ADSR
synthesizer.
kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's actually a synthesizer in Ableton Live. And here I have a kind of like old school Fender Rhodes.
Oh, nice.
And I have actually set it to a scale, so I've got it on D minor blues.
Right.
So whatever I play will be D minor blues. And I have control of all of the parameters.
Oh, I see. I remember these because the first song that you were jamming, you were like playing keyboard, you know, solos like on that. It was like wow, and you just represent all the colors, and I was like totally like wow. It's like it's different from the conventional black and white keys, you know.
I love playing. I love playing on
Right.
black and white keys. But when you play on this, also it frees you up because you're not thinking in the same way. Your fingers are going to do things which you would
Right.
not do here.
Yeah.
It's a totally different creative
Yeah,
experience.
so you don't have to worry about all the 12 keys and the various transpositions and all that.
It's a
Yeah.
different feeling. It's a different. It enlarges the possibilities.
Oh wow.
So side note, his big push got this mode, right? My small launchpad also got.
Yeah.
Ah. Yep.
So you don't need to buy the most expensive
Yeah,
equipment.
you
yeah?
can,
right,
but
that's
of
right.
course there are alternatives here.
Yeah,
know,
there
other
are
solutions.
alternatives. There's always an
Exactly.
alternative. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What do you have at home, Ben? I mean, as in other than these.
All my synths actually I discovered are all Korg. For some reason, I just love Korg synths. Starting from the Poly 800, you know,
Wow.
through to the
Okay.
X3, and then the Prophecy, and then
Oh.
Minilog. It's, I think it's because I started out playing in bands with Korg synths like the Poly 6, Poly 61, Mono Poly, which are now available in software form,
Exactly.
and they sound great. And you don't have to worry about carrying the heavy one now. You can load it up, the Korg software synth. Yeah.
You know, thank you for being a big supporter of Korg keyboards, Ben. Nice. Okay, let's move on to Syafiq. So
Sure.
what maybe you can share about your setup here, like cooking like that, you know, different pots
Yeah.
and pans and ingredients. Okay, Syafiq, share with the audience what you have.
So on the left, I got Novation Control XL. This is like a little mixer. I will
Okay.
explain to you why I'm having this. Okay, very interesting jamming session today. We rehearsed via WhatsApp, via text only. So the first two is from Ben, and then the 3, 4 is from Kaye. Gonna explain that, and then all these 4 are mapped different effects.
Okay.
So basic effects from beat repeat. Then we got massive delay, which can even EQ the delay here. And then the last one is just granular synthesis effects.
Sorry, so these effects can be assigned to any of this that's coming in from like K or from Ben.
Yes, because I'm gonna do whatever I'm doing for today's session is to do a real-time audio signal processing. So
Right.
whenever they're jamming, I will just trigger any effects that's suitable with the feeling or moment. And then here in the center is one of my latest MIDI controller, which I bought. It's really hard to get now. It's
Okay.
called the MIDI Fighter. The reason why, because the nature of my work, I love to trigger either effects or samples. So this is not velocity sensitive. What I had in my Ableton Live is I did chop or sample Brian Eno's interview. So as you can see on track number 9, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can just do this. My bad.
Being an artist, you hear a lot of.
So I can just toggle. So I map.
Have you look at any of those out?
So I just map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 onto the clip in the session view. And then I can even do this, like number 1. And then I can just send
Send effects.
effects. So what I did again is a different method of doing an effects. I MIDI map send here. If I'm gonna hold, I'm gonna we'll send a beat repeat effect like this.
I think, although great new ideas are usually articulated by individuals, they're nearly always.
It's not that obvious. So let's go to delay.
And I think what I is the waste that they make.
I can even EQ the delay, and then the last one is granular. So if I go to the third one like this,
Whenever you look
and then
at
hold
those artists, you
C.
find that they lived and drew from a very active, flourishing cultural sense.
yeah, I love stuff like that. So mainly these two only to trigger audio effects, real-time processing, and the push is, to be honest, just to as a backup. If I want to do more stuff, I can just do immediate sampling or sequencing, because everyone link and sync via the wireless link. But at the moment, I'm not sure whether I'm going to use push or not. But again, the big takeaway of push is I have to say that if you guys are afraid of touching the black and white keys on the piano for certain reason like me,
Okay.
I feel very intimidating when, I'm not a pianist
Keyboard,
or playing keyboard, so always awkward to lay my hands around there. So push is like my primary instrument, which I can just change the scale like what Ben explained earlier, and then boom, everything's on.
Yeah, see?
in scale, in
Yeah,
keys,
in
and I'm like
keys,
can make
yeah.
music freely.
So you don't have to be a keyboard player in order to play these. So don't worry, guys. So you just need a lot of passion and and just love music, and you can start with that.
yeah,
You start with that, right?
yep, that's how I
And don't
start.
forget to look for them. Okay, so the next question is like, okay, nice setup, and I'm sure you have a lot more stuff at home, Syafiq.
Yes.
You have other stuff, at home other than these that you have right now.
To be really honest, I only have one more Akai MPK, another MIDI controller, and another Dopefoot analog synthesizer. I don't spend much on controllers
Mm-hmm.
because mainly they are expensive. So
Right.
I'm a very minimalist guy. I will use whatever I have
Mm-hmm.
fully and then explore within what I'm able to
Maximize
afford
it.
and maximize it.
Right.
Yeah, that's me.
Nice. Okay, we move on to another a question, which is totally different from what we have just now. What's keeping you busy since COVID, and how actually COVID this affected you? Because it affected all of us in Kaye.
Well, I'm obviously the one of the hardest hit because I'm in the nightlife and entertainment industry.
Right.
And as you know, there is no live entertainment allowed since March.
Right.
Clubs are not open, bars are not open. As a result, I have lost 99.9% of my income.
Oh dear.
And I have some projects that came, in here and there, small jobs here and there, but I wouldn't consider it as a income,
Mm-hmm.
So what I've been doing in the meantime was obviously for our label, we still need to come up with content because Darker Than Wax, we usually do like events and all that, but obviously that's not allowed. So we are doing live streams. So we do every Wednesday live stream with me jamming over a DJ set, live streaming, because as in we are not in the same household. So
Right.
the DJ will stream his set to me, and then I will play a rate live and then rebroadcast it to the web. So that's one thing, and then the other thing has just been really getting a lot deeper into the music production process, because I would say, on hindsight, yes, broad strokes I understood, music arrangement, produce, bass line, but I think the devil is in the details, really, and that's when you really dive into the engineering aspect of music production,
Right.
which a lot of people just gloss over. So I really forced myself to really get deep into that, really train my ears to listen out to details when a certain effect does this, what is actually happening, when a compressor does this, what is actually happening, really force your ears to pay attention to details. So that's what I've been training myself in the last few months, and I have to say, I think I upped my engineering game quite a bit. And obviously, I'm still making a lot of music. I've made about an album's worth of music already that's unreleased. So I'm probably going to try and do something with it for next year.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, and then every day cook.
Yeah, I saw. Nice.
Every day cook. I've never cooked so much in my life. I mean, I used to cook at home like maybe once or twice a week. But since lockdown, I'm cooking every day now. Almost 6 days a week I'm cooking.
Yeah, with bare body some more.
Bare body. Always. The only way, bro.
I have to
The
watch.
only way. Naked chef.
Yeah, everybody have to watch him. If the audience wants to watch you, so where do they go?
Well, the streams are on Twitch. So just go to Twitch and look for Darker Than Wax.
Darker Than Wax.
Darker
Okay,
Than
everybody.
Wax.
Darker
Yeah.
Than Wax.
And
Okay.
then the cooking, I only post photo lah. I don't post video lah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, a little bit of Darker Than Wax. Maybe you can tell the audience what is actually Darker Than Wax.
So we are a record label
Okay.
based in Singapore,
Right.
but represented globally. So we release music from all over the world, not just like within the region. And we've recently gone into manufacturing vinyls as well to sell. So previously we were a digital-only label, but last year we went into doing vinyl production as well. And then apart from the music label, we also do parties and events in Singapore. So we've done like club parties, club events, as well as one-off pop-up parties as well as daytime parties. And apart from events, we also do audio branding. So like, for example, a hotel or a cafe or a bar needs music and they have a certain theme, we can offer services for them lah.
Right.
And then in our team, we are all DJs as well.
Right.
So obviously we offer DJ services also. And I guess I'm also looking into offering music tutoring services as well, whether either via personally or via the label. I've not decided yet lah, but I want to open that up as well to the public. Yeah. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what Darker Than Wax does.
Yeah. So anyone who is it a specific genre or is just any genre that they can approach you, or anyone that's listening right now or watching you right now can they, if they think that, oh, I want to make my music and then I'll just approach you.
Well, I mean,
Is
the
that very
genres that we
possible?
cover is usually more like jazz, soul, house, world music, Afro, Cuban, Latin kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Obviously electronic. So electronic with a tinge or influence of soul and jazz is pretty much where we are very comfortable with. So I mean, it could be hip hop. Hip hop can be jazzy as well.
Right.
So stuff like that, soul music. That kind
So
of
they
stuff.
can approach you and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not really into that kind of music and you're keen to explore more, just feel free to hit us up.
Even if you need consultation, you can just look for you.
Yep.
Yeah, don't forget everyone, Darker Than Wax, okay? All right, so let's move on to Ben. Yeah, so since COVID, what do you do, Ben?
For Pop Studio DJ School, we switched all our lessons to online lessons. So I teach on Zoom, and it's interesting because on Zoom you can actually remote control each other's computers. So I can actually reach into my students' Ableton Live set on their computer and help them to do what they need to do. So that's been very interesting. And with Pop Studio DJ, we've also been recording a series of sort of like talk shows where somebody who's more experienced producer is going through a remix of a newer artist's work and those are going to be launched in quite soon on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. And we got Kaye to agree to do one also. Right, so I think the tracks have just been sent to him, so he's going to be on that. And of course, the NUS Electronic Music Lab, all the lessons went online as well through Zoom.
I see. Okay, so that's what you've been doing since the COVID to today. Just curious, so is this just what you're doing, or is this something else that other than music that you are exploring or you are, venturing into?
Yeah, so the difference that I have between the two gentlemen on left and right is that I actually also have a day job, and I also take leave to do music stuff.
Right.
I teach on the weekends, and it's something that because it's a passion, I don't think that I have to be restricted to just the day job. And if anybody out there is working a day job, you don't have to give up music. You can still do music.
Right.
It requires work. It requires time management. It requires your own self-discipline to do it, but it can be really, really rewarding because sometimes life is not just your day job, your 9 to 5. Sometimes you need that expression to really be creative, and you don't have to do it full time. If you are fortunate like Kaye, or you are dedicated like Syafiq, you can do it full time. But if you need to have a day job, you can still do a lot of music, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. But don't mind me asking, but what do you do in the day, Ben? I mean,
What I
generally,
do is that I'm actually in a policy research think tank doing research on cybersecurity law and policies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me say that. Wow.
Yeah, it's just like wow. So it needs a lot of work, I would say, in general. Like
Yeah, that's
work.
usually the conversation killer. But anyway, that's why it's more fun to do music. Right?
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, I really respect Ben juggling his really serious day job,
Yeah.
being a principal tutor in EML,
Yeah.
and also freelance doing
amazing.
producing. So I did told them that he's the guy that never say no whenever there's a good opportunity coming. In terms
Wow.
of like setting up like Ableton Live meetup, like keep reminding me like, hey Syafiq, if you need support, let me know. I'm like, this is my day job, but whereas like Ben always has time to offer people. I'm like, I have to learn something from Ben.
Yeah,
And he got
he's very
family,
inspiring,
man. He got family.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I really respect that.
How many kids you have, Ben? Woo! Congratulations, Ben. Amazing. You inspire me actually.
Yeah.
Give me the strength and
How many kids you got, Mike?
I got 2.
So never mind. Still have 2 more. 2 more to
I
go.
can feel it like okay. I was like okay. Yeah, but wow, Ben. Yeah, salute, man. Yeah, it's very inspiring.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else you want to share with the audience? You know, since
I would say that if you are making music and then sometimes your day job gets in the way, it does happen. But the only thing is don't give up. Don't stop.
beautiful,
Just keep on getting back on again. Right?
beautiful.
And because music is, once it's part of your life,
Yeah.
you cannot give it up. You just have to keep on doing and keep on working and improving at it.
Amazing. Thanks, Ben, for sharing. How
Thank
about
you.
Syafiq? Yeah. You.
What I've been doing,
Yeah, I've been doing. Be busy with since COVID. You know,
Since
how does it
COVID.
really affected you?
it's been a roller coaster ride, really. February, March was a disaster
Okay.
because I want to get married I just got married a month ago.
Congratulations, Syafiq.
Exactly a month ago.
Join the club.
Yeah. So the COVID really scared me off because, like I said, everyone knows it. Like I have no student coming in.
Right.
I got at least 3 heavy production got cancelled by NEC,
Oh dear.
and I have no idea how I have to save for my wedding. You see,
Oh dear.
but however, blessing in disguise, I got online student coming in. Before that, I have no experience teaching online via Zoom. I thought it's even impossible to do that, but because of the pressure and I have no choice and the demand is there, I learned from friends like international friends, other certified trainers. They've been sharing really. Shout out to the Ableton community, Ableton Live community. They've been so resourceful and helpful by sharing on how to set up an online lesson on Zoom. And then without realizing, slowly picking up, I have more online students than one-to-one students actually during the COVID, because it's proven that they have more time now because they can't go to work, and then they have resources all this while, but they don't have the time. So because of COVID, it forces them to stay at home, less job, but they manage to catch up with their passion or their hobby. So that's where I got my student. And then another good news, I've relocated my Mandai studio for 2 years.
Mandai, you were at Mandai
For 2 years,
before.
yeah. That's how I started up my grid culture.
Right.
Really Ulu, Mandai Estate.
So you see
For
the
2 years.
animals there sleeping and all that, no?
I hope we are that near. But yeah, it's along the way actually. For 2 years I've been there, and then I got an offer to relocate grid culture at a better space and location, which is at 14001 Road. So I'm gonna remarket. I've been doing an aggressive reflection on my business and my company, so I can't wait to share even more after this. So it's been quite tight and super busy, I can say.
Right.
Yeah.
So currently it's open that people can come to
Yes,
to
yes,
get
yes.
lessons from you.
Yeah.
So if they want, so how do they go about? Like
Yeah, you can reach out to me via Instagram, via Facebook, or even email me. I think you can just type on
Greek culture.
Grid Culture. The name is there. So as simple as that.
Okay. How about Ben? Do you teach like aside from the
Electronic
music,
music.
and then do you teach separately outside?
Yes, yes. I teach through Pop Studio DJ School because the electronic music lab's only for NUS students. So for everyone else, Pop Studio DJ School you can just find on Facebook.
Right.
Everything that I have is Ben Ang Music. benangmusic.com.
Music. Don't forget. And then Pop DJ School.
Pop Studio
Pop Studio
DJ
School. Okay, everyone. So just in case you need to, sign up for a course, and there's Ben and Syafiq here, and of course we have what you call that, Kaye. That's also if you're looking for a record label, don't forget Kaye is over there. They'll be nice to help you guys, and I believe he'll be glad to share his experience and all that with you. All right. So let's see what other question I can ask you. So okay, I think that's about most of the things. And one more question, last question. Since you guys are here, How do you get to know city music?
We haven't done the analog and digital thing yet.
Oh yeah, after this.
Okay.
After this. Okay, with that. Yeah. That's a one.
City music.
Yeah.
Well, city music was okay. So my mentor Jason Tan,
Mm-hmm.
he would do his rounds like at the music shops and suppliers.
Uh-huh.
So I would follow him sometimes, and then that's how I got to know about city
When
music.
was that?
My goodness, I don't even remember, man. Wow, could be as long as 10 years ago or more even.
More.
So I used to follow him, and then because everyone knew him, right?
Yeah.
And then who did Gina next to him, you know? So then I start to know those guys as well.
Yeah.
And then through that, I also start to build my own relationships with all the shop
other people,
guys.
yeah.
So like Cinemax, City Music, Sweden not so much, but yeah,
Nice.
Luther Music, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, been a patron of your store for many years already.
Nice. Thanks, Kaye. Thank you for all the support, man, bro. Okay, how about Ben? Yeah.
Korg
so,
M1
yeah.
launch.
Again, oh,
Okay,
that's
ring bell?
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Changed
that
my
was-
life. Huh? Yeah. And I think Kurzweil 250 also at
Oh
that
my
time.
goodness. 250, not even like 2500, it's like 250.
No, the original huge
Yeah.
Kurzweil, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's like.
Those are all the sequencer keyboards, right?
Yeah, the M1 was the first
First
workstation
Workstation
sequencer,
keyboards, right?
8
right.
tracks
Yeah.
and 8 multi-timbrels that you could actually have a sequencer in a
Believe me,
digital synth.
That keyboard cost $4,000 way back then.
Yeah.
So you purchased at 4,000?
No,
Yeah.
I just used I just came for the launch.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
okay, I
jaw
thought you
dropping.
owned
That
one.
was the first like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$4,000
but it was
keyboard.
great, man. It was great.
Amazing
And then
keyboard,
after
way
that, NUS got one.
Hmm?
So
You
it
got
was
one?
yeah, and everybody used the Sound 00 Universe.
Oh, yeah, wow.
You can remember?
Yeah.
No, you switch on the first one. Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice.
through the years, not only has of course my favorite Korg synths like the Korg Prophecy. You just press one finger and it goes boom, 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 and then you like, oh, what a wonderful synth. But not only has City Music had the best sounding synths, also it's the most friendly environment.
Yeah, man.
I'm not naming any other names, but you
Yeah.
know, you to feel that you can come here and there are nice people who actually enjoy the music and enjoy the gear and are willing to like talk to you, even if you're not here to buy something.
That's true.
It's a different environment.
Yeah, and it helps a lot when you talk to the staff about the equipment that they sell, and the staff can actually tell you about it.
Wow.
Because I've been to other shops and asked about certain equipment, and they like, do we even have that? And like, oh my goodness, you know, you know, or they know nothing. They can't tell me anything about the product, you know. So it helps a lot that the staff is knowledgeable.
And friendly. Yeah.
Kudos to our team. They have been also working very hard. And yeah, glad that they can help you as
People
much.
like Mike, right?
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, always
and
tell people when come to City Music, look for Mike.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, don't forget to look for all my team here. We have amazing guys that's going to help you. Don't worry, okay? Giving all the support and help. All right.
Yep.
Okay, how about Syafiq?
Yeah, I got an answer already. I thought that's not, but I don't have an answer. So actually, I followed. Again, similar like you got your mentor, right? I followed Ridwan Zadani.
Oh, really?
Actually, at 16 years old with his scooter. Because Yazid used to work here, am I right?
Oh, Yazid, yeah,
bassist.
from basement.
Yazid, bass player.
Basement, yeah.
He's
You
supposed
used to work here.
he used to work
Yeah, he was
see?
my colleague.
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
having one abang really obsessed with percussion, and then you guys used to sell cork with drum, right?
Yes.
So Yazid called one abang like, hey, we got a new product here. You want to come here and test or not? So I'm like, I have no choice. I have to follow. Tada, City Music. Like, oh, now I know where to get all this electronic stuff.
Yes.
Very, very great experience. And again, one of the only retail shop, like I said, like legit only one retail shop that's really friendly, that everyone is doing double role. Like, like even you, not just like selling product, like keep in touch with us, doing all this kind of work, live streaming, going down the street and then supporting theatre companies, all underground scenes. So I've been sharing good stuff about selling music all across my students and my friends.
I mean, seriously, Mike is a fantastic. He's a music arranger who's
Oh.
done work at
He
a
just
very
got
high level.
Featured in the
Right.
Berita Harian last 2
Yeah,
days.
it's military, and this guy has been doing like very high level music arrangement stuff. He's a fantastic keyboard player.
Thank you,
right?
Ben. Thank you,
I've
Ben.
got students coming into NUS who are students of yours, Yeah, and then even Yinglung has his own like live streaming his deep house
Yeah.
beats,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
music
yeah.
is
Yeah.
music is not just a
Amazing.
business for these guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a cue to anything.
Oh yeah, so we have the test
No, no,
session.
no,
Okay, okay.
I
we're
forgot
gonna
to off our battery operated.
Okay, wanna compare the
did you-
analog and
Okay,
digital
okay,
now.
let's move on to that.
What have you been
By the way,
eating,
thanks guys for sharing
problem.
amazing journey with City Music. You know, it's truly an honor to have you guys here. But before we continue next, we're going to have a few songs that we're going to be playing. But before that, we move to that question that what Kaye was asking. You know, it's like the differences between software versus hardware. All right. So what do you think, Kaye?
I think the analog and digital argument is is something that will not end one lah. There will always be hardcore supporters on one side and hardcore supporters on the other side. For me, I've gone through that journey. I started out purely in the box, and then when synths started getting cheaper around 2014, 2015, that was when I started investing in hardware synths because they were more affordable. So it's not so hard pain to buy lah. That's when I started building my collection of hardware synths.
Okay.
So I went through that as well, and then started going into analog, I can,
Right.
And then now that I've got a fairly sizable collection of hardware synths,
Right.
I'm actually going back more digital now.
Why is that so?
Yeah.
Because one thing I realized that when you make music, you open up your computer, you open up the software, you have an idea, you want to get right into it, right? With a purely if you're using a lot of analog synths and everything going to patch bass and mixers and all your MIDI patch bass as well, and then your sound card I/O and all that, then you like trigger the thing to play. No sound. Why no sound? Then you go to the back, then you trace all the cable, and then you end up wasting half an hour to figure out why no sound. Either that or why got buzz?
Oh yeah.
Then you end up tracing cables to figure out where the buzz is coming from. And then by the time you solve those issues, you sit down, you forgot what you wanted to do already.
I see.
So it's a big deal breaker when it comes to like putting down your ideas fast. And I mean, I'm not saying this will happen all the time lah, but when it happens, it's very frustrating because today, free day, I set aside 3 hours to do music, but then 2 hours I end up spending solving buzz issues and why this instrument got no sound issues. So it gets very frustrating. So that's one of the reasons why I started to go back in the box. And then on top of that, you have to like switch everything on, then wait for it to warm up, especially for analog stuff. And then, all these kind of issues lah. So that's when I decided to go back into using a bit more digital. So at least for arrangement stuff, do digital. If I feel that it could really be, it needs to be replaced, or it could do really well to be replaced by an analog instrument, then swap it out lah. But the MIDI is all there already, the idea all put down already.
Yeah.
So you just need to replace the instrument type from the onboard, from the in the box
soft
to the
sync
out of the
to
box.
the-
Yeah. Then just record it audio and then Suda. So finish.
Okay.
So as far as sound quality is concerned, I think the quality of VSTs have really, really, really improved. So like for example, like the Korg plugins, the Korg plugins are great. The legacy plugins, your MS-20, your Monopoly, your Poly 6, I use them a lot. And the Roland Cloud synths are amazing. I mean they're not cheap, but they are amazing. They sound really, really good. So these days it's actually it's become more and more difficult to tell, like listening to a piece of music,
Right.
was it made on analog gear or was it made on digital
wow.
gear?
Okay.
And then you need to ask yourself the question, does it even matter if it sounds good to you? If it's analog or it's digital?
True.
Right? If it sounds good to you, it sounds good to you lah.
Yes.
Why the hell you need to care whether it's analog or digital?
Right.
Then it becomes a very purist argument. I use only analog to make music.
Right.
They're very snooty lah. I got these $1,000 synths and all that. But music should be as democratic as possible. Everyone should have access to it.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's working digitally is as good as, if not maybe even more efficient than using analog gear sometimes.
Okay. That's a good answer. Okay. I mean, despite that people use analog and digital, and it's still there are certain significant. It's still the music that comes first.
Music comes first, yes,
Yeah,
of
music
course.
comes first, yeah. How about Ben? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what Kaye said about democratizing. Because for students who are starting out, it's very difficult to invest in hardware as well. But if they can do a lot in the box, they can create fantastic music just using what's in software. And the cost is a fraction of what it would if they had to buy the hardware to do it. But I still love the hardware, which is why I've brought both. When playing live, there is a real fun in having keys and knobs and being the sound coming out straight out from the thing. And also that backup, if anything touch wood should go wrong with the digital one. So I think that I agree totally. It's the music that counts.
Correct. But it's also more gratifying to be playing a hardware synth and turn a knob and that knob instantly does something to the sound. As opposed to mouse click drag. You know, it's a very different experience. So I say the analog experience is a lot more enjoyable in that respect. When you're playing live, you flip a switch, you do a fader, you do a knob, you know, the sound changes, you know, instantly, you know, it reacts to your tactile movements. Correct. Because if you use the mouse, it's like, wow, damn sian no. You know?
You're checking email, no?
There's some VST, the window so small, then you want to aim the mouse there, then you double click, but never kena, you know? Then you double click, like, wow, it's damn frustrating, you know?
Right, nice. How about Syafiq?
Yeah, I mean, the generation starting. Like I said, I just bought a analog Doppler, very small, dark energy.
Right.
I even made a song because of that guy, because it's my first discovery. That the moment of me hooking a Doppler, I'm like, oh, now I know why people bought analog. No, that feeling, because I've been using all the in-the-box digital for more than 6 years. So that one tiny analog seems like, I can't describe it. The wave, I mean, when you just hook direct to the system, you can instantly hear the texture, the timbre is really thick. And then I made like, what's that, even mentioned like hybrid model. So you can watch over my IGTV, I did an online performance. I tried to incorporate that Doppler into my live performance. And the feeling is amazing. Like, because I'm a very tactile person, electronic artist performer, always rely on knobs, faders, the little hand gesture. But the Doppler has this switch, you know, like the LFO switch, the different sign. And then that silver switch has a different reaction, like what you said, immediately. So I like that little stuff, but it made a lot of differences in the live performance and sonically lah. So very expensive equipment, very expensive. I'm not going into there at the moment, but I really love analog. If I have the chance to collect or even purchase or invest one day, I would love to.
Then you know why people spend so much on certain synthesizers and drum
man.
machines, right?
Yeah, I did saw your collection in your Instagram account.
Oh,
I'm like, I don't have any of these, but it's very beautiful. No, aesthetically, like you have the physical stuff when you see it, like an asset, and I'm like, another experience lah.
Yeah.
And the good thing now is that the synths cost much less than they did.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason why I started collecting in the first place, because they were not in the thousands anymore; they were in the hundreds.
Yeah. Like this baby is like, several hundreds only. Like,
Yeah,
wow.
the mini lock is how much, Mike?
Sorry?
How much is the mini lock?
600 plus?
Yeah.
600 plus.
Yeah. I mean, last
600,
time it would be like
for a
5 times, 10 times this.
For a 4-voice analog poly digitally controlled. Where to find?
Back in the day, it would be like thousands.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about this mini lock, right? Because it's one of the sound that you can't get in like any other synth. It is sound on its own. Yeah. It's different. It's totally different from any other synth. It just have its own sounds. 665. Thanks,
665. Yeah,
after
great
discount,
deal.
665. Ladies and gentlemen, 665. Okay. That's nice. Okay, well, I'd like to thank you guys for sharing. I'm sure there's a lot more to share, but I think we are really time is running out.
man.
And in fact, we
Extra
are
time, really,
already,
like 2 hours,
you know, we're supposed to do 1 hour, but it's like truly amazing. We didn't realize that the time is like, what? It's almost 2
Yeah,
hours.
it's almost 2 hours.
But thank you so much, guys, for sharing. We have Kaye on my right, and then we have Ben, and then we have Syafiq. Thank you so much. But before we say goodbye, let's hear a jamming session for you guys.
Okay.
Last one.
All right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
One song?
Okay.
One good song? Okay, everybody? One good song from them. Take it away, guys. Kaye, Ben, and Syafiq in the house.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Really.
Three, two, one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just as genius is the individual, serious creative intelligence.
Three, two, one.
Okay, once again, round of applause to Kaye, Ben, and Syafiq. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Despite that the our live stream is overrun by another hour, but anyway,
Another hour,
but thank you
wow.
so much, guys. And before we say goodbye, I would like to thank again our CD Music live stream spotted by Ableton, of course. Not in Ableton. Thank you so much, Ableton. And then we have Sony Singapore sharing their Sony ZV-1 camera as well as A6400 camera in the house right now. And of course, with Blackmagic A10 Mini, which we have two of the A10 Mini that is actually connected. That's basically the toggling between the different video switching. And of course, we have also the Aperture with their beautiful lights. And then we have also the IT microphones from Jinfu. The S2 mics are awesome. Cox Singapore, Zoom Singapore, Mackie Singapore. And of course, take the opportunity to thank CD Music team for making all possible. We have Jace in the house, we have Alvin, Tim, we have also Rusdi in the house, and Kamal's at home watching, and all our CD Music team. Of course, Gerald who's doing the marketing and all that. Thank you so much, guys, for making all possible. And take care and stay safe, everyone. Thank you once again, Kaye, Ben, and Syafiq. See you again.
Thank you.